So there we go. And what comes then? You have seen Shishir only one part of that functionality, which was that schedule. If you put the date, automatically it will calculate when your exam should get over. Correct?
Yes.
But it has one more feature or the functionality, which is what Kuldeep is built using the VBA, Excel VBA, which is a code there. So now it is a time I can explain that thing to you. So just watch this. And this being an important thing, in my opinion, I am not able to, stop taking a very quick attendance saying that I know Shishir, Kuldeep, Pavan are there. Maria, Niranjan,
Yeah, I'm here.
you're there. Raj, you spoke already. So I think Raj is there.
Yep.
Then Sachin, Sati, Vishakha,
Yeah, I'm here.
you're there. Okay, good. So most of you are here. See, typically what I was trying to tell, there is a tab called as a process view. If you click onto the process view, friends, what will happen is that you will find that, in a highlighted cell, you will find develop project management plan or anything of that nature. You take a drop down and you will get all 49 processes here. All the 49 processes here. For the given process, develop project management plan, coincidentally, we are learning it just now. What is the objective of this thing? It should be done and all that, some description. Then which are the inputs, which are the tools and technique, which are the outputs there. With the code, what we have done is that if I go ahead and select, let's say, I want to see what is there in define scope. So click on to define scope and you will find the text will change. It will be description, input, tool and technique and output for define scope. This is a view called as the process view. Similarly, there is input output view. If you go to input output view, you will find quality metrics is one of the output. And that's the output of plan quality management is what it is trying to say. If you take this drop down, you will find almost 200. So many outputs there. So for example, scope baseline. If you click onto the scope baseline, you'll find scope baseline is an output of create WBS. If you take some other thing, for example, let's say project management plan. If you take project management plan, if you click onto that, you will realize output of develop project management plan, but it is input to so many processes. See, direct and manage project work, manage project knowledge, all these people. And that's very obvious. You would realize that, almost all the processes which are particularly in execution and monitoring and control, they will need, the thing. So 47, look at it here. And here is the quiz. Your 47 processes are there where it is an input. Develop project management plan is an output. Project management plan is output. So which one is missing, friends? Oh,
इसके लिए
interesting.
कुछ ऑन करना पड़ेगा क्या मैक्रोस वगैरह को?
You need to say enable
हाँ,
macros. It will ask you saying that enable macros. You'll have to give that permission.
हाँ, क्योंकि मेरे में काम नहीं कर रहा जो डाउनलोडेड हुआ था.
It may not, and there are some macro security you need to go ahead and give appropriate permission. Why this is 47 plus? See, 49 nahi hai na. This, if you look at it, these are 47 where it is used as an input as output of this. So what do you think would be missing?
A requirements gathering plan.
See, now look at it here. Plan. No, requirement gathering plan, not a process, isn't it? It's not a process.
Yeah.
So then, Maria, develop project charter.
Right. Yes.
Develop project charter, it cannot be an input.
And business case?
It cannot be. No, business case is an input output, isn't it, Kuldeep? It is not a process. So business case in its own, you will find if you go to input output here, you will find business case will be one of the thing here. See, business documents. See, business documents are input to develop project charter, close project, collect requirement, determine budget, plan procurement, and identify stakeholders. These are the process where it is an input. Did you notice business document output nahi hai kahin pe bhi? Correct? Because in the project you don't modify it. It is created before the project, correct? So this is all about input output. There is a third tab here called as a tools view. So tools view we will find for example interpersonal and team skill. He said a develop project charter. develop project management plan, manage project knowledge. These are the processes for which, this is the tool and technique. If you go ahead and take this drop down and try to say inspection, click on inspection. Inspection is a tool and technique for validate scope, control quality, and control procurement. Wherever it is a tool and technique, it will be showing there. So take a drop down and you will find you want to see expert judgment. See, expert judgment is in so many. Develop project charter say leke, if you see all so many processes. 35 out of the 49 processes are using expert judgment as a thing. So that's what it is, trying to show there. The tool and technique. So these are three view. One is the process. If you select the process, you show the description, what is the input, tool and technique and output. If you go to input output, it will show you a list of input outputs and it will show which processes in that process, whether it is acting as an output or input. If you go to the tools view, you will find all the tools and techniques here. And these tools and technique in which process they are being used. Okay, those are the three independent tabs. Is that understood so far?
Nice.
Yes. Kuldeep, interesting?
हाँ इंटरेस्टिंग तो लग रहा है देखने में सर, लेकिन वो इतना सब एकदम आ रहा है तो वो थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है कि कौन सा किधर पे मैप करेगा.
Now, for that mapping ke liye, what is there? This also has one more magic there. And that magic is that, these things are clickable. What does it mean? While you are data representation, you came across all that. Yahan par, there is manage quality. Now, if you double click on manage quality, remember manage quality is a process. So it will switch to this process view. See, abhi process view mein, you are seeing develop project management plan. You come here and double click on manage quality. It will jump to the process for the manage quality, the description, input, tool and technique. And everything is double clickable. For example, audits. If you double click tool and technique out or as an output, as a tool and technique, it will go to tool and technique view and bring detail for audit. See, double click audit. Audit is used in so many processes.
सर वो
conversion के लिए बहुत अच्छा
आप
है.
इधर भी सर
हाँ.
वो ग्राफिकल वाला जैसे प्रिज्म वाला करके बताया था ना आपने सर, वो बहुत इजी था. इधर
हाँ.
इधर क्लिक करने से उधर जा रहा है तो वो विजुअल नहीं है ना सर, तो थोड़ा सा
हाँ, correct.
मैप करने में
Nee,
थोड़ा
this is
तकलीफ
more
हो
to
रहा है.
grill and do the more study. We want to do the crisscross study. This is more useful for that. So purpose are obviously, different there.
Right.
Now, monitor risk, if you double click, it will go there. Same thing, input output bhi hai. For example, yahan pe change request. Okay. Now, if you double click on change request, it will say, see, so many processes are using perform integrated change control is using it as an input. All other people are creating it as an output. So 25 mein se, if you leave this, 24 processes are creating change request. Only perform integrated change control is, doing it. And इसमें से from here acquire resources, double click to acquire resources. What are the tools which are being used there? You will find this crisscross is possible. So, coming back to that, Kuldeep, this is the thing using VBA. VBA is that code, the macros. So that is
कितना मेहनत किया हुआ है इस पे.
so that's what is, an interesting thing there. So it is downloadable. Just get it, get it downloaded and start using. Shishir, if you want, tell me if you get stuck up, you can enable it.
ना मेरा
There are some small
मैक्रो सिक्योरिटी लॉक है, उसको
correct.
ऑन करने के हो जाएगा वो.
So you'll have to just say enable and you'll have to put it into a specific folder because micro security, there is a second level of lock these days. And it is that unless it is in a specified folder, the macros won't. Even if you say macros should work, it will not work for any file. They will work only on the files which are kept into that trusted location. They call it as a trusted location. So the file should be kept into trusted location, or the location where you have kept, you need to make it as a trusted location. If that is done, then it will, it will start working. Till then, it may not work. So that's an interesting, thing which was there. And now coming back to perform integrated change control. As I told you that, if you want to visualize the larger picture again and come back from here, so far what we have done, we develop the project charter, we develop the plan here, deliverables and all that thing created. manage project knowledge, tacit and explicit type of knowledge, monitor and control. Intention was to create WPR, work performance report, taking WPI for each of them and creating WPR, doing that alternative analysis, cost benefit analysis, earned value analysis, root cause analysis, all those analysis, and then WPR. And now we are in perform integrated change control. I have explained you, quite a big things about it. It's a meeting, it's a team of people. So let's do quickly through the inputs and all that. Objective is to, accept or reject the changes which are there in the deliverables or project documents or project plan. Remember, deliverables, if you are changing output, you need to follow appropriate process. But not only that, even if you are going to change project documents like project plan, you want to change, you need approval to that particular change. The process is essential since change expected from one area might have impact somewhere else. The people who are raising the change request have only one view into their mind. They are looking at that change from there. The cost manager is telling that, you are bad in terms of cost, and he might come up with a solution saying that all the expensive resources should be released. Now, remember, it's only his view because it's a cost-based view. Removing people, expensive people from there might mean something else. It might impact the quality, it might impact even the timeline. So, someone will have to sit together and take a consolidated view, and that's what he's saying. Changes expected from one knowledge area might have impact elsewhere. Changes might impact the product or project scope. That's very important. Remember, we spoke about product and project. Now, product is where there is an output of the project or project scope. Now, let me explain this to you. What is product scope and project scope? We are going to discuss this. This is explained in scope chapter once again, but because this word is there, just to understand this, let us understand. Remember, every project is creating the deliverables, and all the tasks which are related to creating that deliverable is called as the product scope. It's a product scope. So basically, developing something and all that thing is the product scope. But there are so many other tasks which you need to do for the sake of project. For example, do you need to invest your time in selecting team members for the project? Selection of the team member. Do you need to invest time in that? Yes, Ati?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In a
because
As per
way,
the
yes.
requirement.
appropriate
Yes.
knowledgeable person for that product should be in the building
On
team.
board. Correct, Swati?
Yes.
Even this one, sometimes conducting their interviews,
Yes.
sometimes making project plan. Remember, Swati, the time you are investing into making the project plan, customer is not going to pay you for that. He is paying you for the deliverable what you have created.
Yes.
He will only if you said कि I have investment half a day in doing so. He will only be sympathetic. You said कि हाँ यार इससे मेरा product शायद अच्छा बनेगा. For him, that product is important. For him, your project plan is not making any sense. Correct?
True.
Those are called as project scope and product scope. What they are trying to say, perform integrated change control, which means raising the CR, getting it approved, is not only applicable to product changes, it is also about the project change. If someone comes back, Swati, and tells them saying that when people are coming on board, you need to go ahead and give them basic of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence wala training, you should give it to your people. That's the requirement. Auditor came, they said that yeah, these people are, they look to be little weak about it. उनको सबको AI training देना पड़ेगा. Now, looks like great idea, but Swati, it will need time. It might need money as well. Correct?
Yes.
Now, this is called as a project scope. It is not product scope. Project scope. So even if you want to make this, you'll have to raise a CR saying that I want to give such and such training. The change request board will see that ki boss Swati is saying give this is a brilliant idea to give, but paisa kitna lagega? All those things they will have to see, and that's what is project scope and product scope. All the type of thing, if you look at all type of projects, there is a product scope and there is a project scope. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Even in cooking, there is a project scope and product scope.
सर एक्सप्लेन कीजिए.
हाँ, So how does that happen? See, decorating the food is what? It is not a delivery. Delivery is the food, na? सीधा सीधा. Forget about that. कुलदीप, वो तो कम से कम ठीक है, फिर भी वो डिलीवरेबल है, because you need to present it in a proper way to the guest. But for doing that, you need to go to the market and bring the fresh vegetables. It's a project work.
स्कोप में आ गया।
स्कोप में लेना पड़ेगा इसलिए कुलदीप, बिकॉज उसके लिए पैसा लगेगा, उसके लिए टाइम लगेगा, उसके लिए रिसोर्सेस लगेंगे. If you
बराबर।
forget that part of it, your costing will go wrong, your planning will go wrong. Is that making sense?
यस।
So
Yes.
Kuldeep,
अच्छा,
if I
anything beyond deliverables is considered in the project scope,
is a
और जो
project,
भी related to product के deliverable से related है, that is under my product scope.
correct, it's under the product scope. So Swati, the reason for which we are speaking so loudly about it and why reason PMI is actually saying, आपने ये देखा है क्या स्वाति कि customer conveniently and sometimes project manager innocently forget the project scope part of it. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
What does it mean? Customer, so Kuldeep, वो सब्जी लाना है, you can bring it from central market in Pune, which is 20 kilometer away, or the local vendor, which is just half a kilometer away. तो सब्जी दोनों में से ला सकता है ना? Now, if customer said कि मेरे को ऐसा फ्रेश वाला ऐसा ही चाहिए, you have to go to 20 kilometer. उसका costing लगाना पड़ेगा तेरे को. Is that
That is
making sense?
project.
As a project, if you don't do that, Kuldeep, your project will go in loss. Very funny example, isn't it?
यस
Did you
सर।
notice,
Yeah.
Swati, very convenient? What I was trying to say, customer very conveniently and project manager innocently. What I mean is that project manager don't understand, but customer, अरे यार ये सब लोगों को ना एक why don't you give them latest laptop यार स्वाति, ये क्या लोग हैं ऐसे, सब मस्त लैपटॉप दे देना उसको. What is this business स्वाति? It's a project scope.
Project scope.
Is it
कि
going to
वो
bleed you?
हम्म
It is going to bleed you.
cost
आएगा
wise.
कौन इसका पैसा कौन देगा? Customer conveniently said it and you innocently accepted it. Are you getting my concept when I am saying that is
Yes.
what is there? So don't forget the project scope. Project scope is also important. Finally, उसके लिए आपको investment करना है, and investment are two: money and time. Even time is required for that, isn't it?
Yes.
So your WBS should reflect activities which are related to the project. If taking interview for certain special skill need time and money, you need to consider that into the plan. Otherwise, on the paper, which was looking to be a very profitable project, because of the project scope related activity became not so attractive. Correct?
Right.
That's the difference between product and project. So both are equally important. Both are equally important. After the project is baseline, changes must be routed through this process, which means once baseline. See, till the time you make the baseline, it is not still published. You are just making the draft, sharing with the people. They suggest you changes, you keep on doing the thing. But the day on which most of the stakeholder agree to that, you go ahead and publish saying that this is version 1.0. After that, you need to route it through the proper process of the change, which starts with CR. All the changes must be documented in proper system. In most of the situation, organizations do have some system, for example, Bridge Clarify, for example, I think Remedy also has it. So many tools are there. The systems are like that. Anyone can log in and based on the authority, create a change request. The moment he submits that thing, it will go for his departmental head's approval. After his departmental head's approval, it will go to the change manager for his approval. Change manager, once he approves, it does not get accepted. It becomes a acceptance backlog for the change advisory board. So next time, whenever change advisory board is meeting, all those changes which are approved by the change manager will come back there. Before that, change manager need to also do the impact analysis and write his comment. This I think should take so much of a time. This should have the impact. Then change committee actually sits down and they said out of these 10, these 8 we are approving, 2 of them we are rejecting there. Now those 8 then will have to be scheduled for change. Then automatically appropriate configuration management changes need to be done, because it is recommending some artifact to be changed. So artifact का नया version number आएगा. Have you heard this word, something called as checkout and check-in? Not in terms of hotel.
Yes,
Configuration
in terms
management
of code.
checkout and check-in, है ना?
Yes.
This is in terms of configuration management. The old artifact, which was the older version, you need to check out, which means it is given. So system will mark saying that this is updated and currently Shishir is working on to that. Someone try to take it again. No, don't change anything. Shishir is working on that. Shishir will make the change. So V 2.0 he took, made the changes. When it comes back, it will be checked in as V 3.0. That's called as a check-in. It is a configuration management related words there. That is the whole cycle, from the CR, approvals, impact analysis, approval by the change advisory board, actual changes, and making the changes there. This is heart of it. Perform integrated change control is the center of that whole change process. These are inputs. Project plan is required. Project documents are required, and very important, change requests are required. That's an input here. Work performance reports, as you have seen, when they are approving or rejecting something, it is handy that change advisory board has latest reports. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, Swati?
Yes.
The board will be very happy to have those reports, because some of the, whether to accept certain reports or not, certain changes or not, would have an impact on the report, correct?
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
are on track, if you are well within the cost, you might approve the changes. In some situation, you might say, "नहीं boss, ये तो नहीं बैठने वाला, we can't do this." So that's what is the input. The EFs, contracting or purchasing constraints, when you are actually doing, there are certain constraints. For example, there are rules that this type of item you cannot import. This will have to be bought only from India. There are, certain rules like that. So those constraint OPS could be, the change control procedures and tools, as I told you, a system which allow you to raise the CR till the approval. Those are procedures and tools which are there. Definition of authority to approve the change. There is a CAB, change advisory board. And change advisory board has been given a clear authority saying that you can approve up to changes which are costing 20 lakhs INR. Now, this is the authority given to them. If they are more than that, they will have to probably say that, no, we can't do that. Those type of things. Then configuration management system. As I told you, finally, once it is approved, you have to check out the old artifact, make necessary change, create a new version, and check it in. And once you check it in, that becomes the master copy. CAB needs an expertise. That's where the panel is sitting there. They are technical expert. They are financially, the people who are able to take financial decisions, the people who are able to take technical decisions, the people who are going to get impacted because of any such changes. All those are together. And that's why it's a panel. It's not an individual. So the CEO of the company cannot play for change advisory board, because he would have authority about the money, but he has no idea whether such a thing could be done on HP server. मालूम ही नहीं ना, technical people are required. So that's where it's a panel, not an individual. Change control tools, as I told you, breach, clarify, remedy, where you are able to do support following configuration, identify the CI, report and record and report the configuration item status. Currently it is checked out, checked in, which is the current version. There is something called as obsolete, the CI which is already discarded, they don't delete it. They will not delete it. They will, mark it as obsolete. That this is not there. Have you heard this word CMDB?
Configuration database.
Database, configuration management database. So configuration management database wale systems, they are doing all that thing, perform configuration, verification and audit. There are audits which are happening. You might get some questions even on this. Now, these type of audits are that, they will check the master copy of the artifact. And then they will, ask you saying that, can you show me which are all the places where copy of this particular artifact is there. And there they will come, they will check whether the version numbers are matching. Are you getting this point, friends? Version number in production and version number in the master copy should match. You would say, what's so great about it? it doesn't happen. I mean, are you getting this point?
Yeah.
Hmm? Very funny, na? Pawan,
Yes.
how is that related?
Uh, we actually says like version number with the master with respect to the stage,
Uh,
but I'm not sure what exactly you're talking about.
so urban company, earlier urban champ, wala, wo, that guy, Pawan calls him for, whatever, washing machine repair. Okay,
Right.
that guy comes and he actually opens it and sees it. So either the tool required to open that washing machine or a spare part required for that, he was not having. He said, कि, sir, ये अब तो मेरे को जाके लाना पड़ेगा. I will have to go to probably whatever place, Central Hyderabad, and I will have to bring it there. This could be a simple issue related to the configuration manager. See, if they have changed the version of the artifact there, all the
Oh,
appropriate, all the people should go ahead and take it now. Otherwise, what's the use of that? Urban company is not a right example because they are multi-brand supporters. Correct, Pawan?
correct, correct.
But it was a Samsung's representative. And Samsung का representative tell Pawan saying that कि मेरे पास इसका spare नहीं है. Pawan will shout at him, no? He will say, कर क्या रहे हो तुम लोग?
Yeah.
What happened? Because there was a change in the design by which, whatever that drum wala bolt is changed, and this guy is not having an update related to that. The kit what he is going to carry has a bolt, but it was for the models which are already removed.
Right.
I am taking a very funny example, which is little more to understand. But Pawan, these things do happen in the IT world as well, isn't it?
Right. Right.
And that's what is this audit done for. Audit, they will go ahead and check randomly. Say that where is all this code is deployed? Is it all having the same version? And don't get surprised, Pawan, in some places, sometimes there is an old version which is like, correct?
Yes. Yes. That
Now
will be
that's
there.
what is there. Tool should be able to support this task, identify the changes, document the changes, decide on changes. Basically, I don't know how would the tool decide on the changes, but आजकल हो सकता है. So many things AI do, there, and then track the changes. So this is change control tools there. When these change advisory board are approving or rejecting the thing, they need to do multiple analysis. Which CR to withhold, which CR to expedite, which CR to approve. They do alternative analysis and cost benefit. Is it good to go ahead and change this analysis? Someone went ahead and said that I want changes to be done in the monthly report. So he gave the reason saying that, monthly report currently I download from the system, then I need to do a little bit of processing in the Excel. And after that only I will be able to share that report. So I want this change to be incorporated in the main system only. The change advisory board will check the alternatives. Saying that, boss, I mean, he's saying that one person in the company is spending maybe one, half day in doing that thing for actually, and this particular product is going to come up with the upgrade in the next release in which this is going to be a feature. Why do you want to do these changes? That's an alternative, whether to do it or not, whether to do it in-house, outside, or you want to actually go ahead and rather than making those changes into online system, is it good that, give some training or give some assistant to that guy to do it in Excel? That's an alternative. Finally, you want the results there. Obviously, whenever there are alternatives, you need to do cost benefit and then decide which things to be approved. We spoke about multi-criteria decision analysis technique, which means there are weightages. For example, CRs, there was a weightage. Investment has a 20-point, time required was 30 points, users impacted was 30, business benefit was so much. So basically, something which was very quick was more important. Time required was maximum importance there. Investment was not that important for them. And then they have given a separate weightage for each of those, added them and said this is the best CR to be approved out of it. This is used in multiple places, friends. These are done, as I'm sure even you people would be doing it. Saying that in our individual life also, multi-criteria decision technique, we commonly do it. We may not make a spreadsheet like that, but finally we do it. Autocratic decision making, this is sometimes useful. Sometimes, one of the decision making technique is autocratic. The name of this particular technique in the last version was called as dictatorship. It was called a dictatorship way of doing things. So this version they have made a change and they started calling it as autocratic. But Pawan, in the nutshell, it is one and the same thing, correct?
Yes.
Dictatorship is autocratic. The only thing ये थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है पवन, correct? If we call it as autocratic, it looks good. If we say dictatorship, it looks bad, correct?
Yes.
Do you think autocratic or dictatorship is required sometimes?
Yes, at times it is required.
Is it good? Probably no, but it is required sometimes. And particularly in the large companies, Pawan, you need someone to do this type of things, correct?
Yep.
Although if people spend huge time only in discussing things. Have you seen it?
Yes.
That's where autocratic could be one. And multi-criteria, I explained it to you. Meetings by the change control board, CCB, are very common to discuss and approve or reject the changes. Check the impact of the changes. Typically, this impact of the changes are done beforehand. They say that before showing it to the change advisory board, change manager should do that impact and then recommend saying that, this should be approved, this should not be approved there. Because in the meeting, if you try to check, what are the impacts, then, the meeting will go really very, very long there. Shishir, now coming back to this, is that all this route called as a CR, project plan, ये सब चीज, when it goes to agile, they are not applicable. Are you getting?
Yeah.
Because if there is a change which is happening in between, they will say that go back and ask to the product owner.
Right.
Product backlog में तुम कभी भी change करो, there is no change, there is nothing to worry about because I have not taken it for development. Once I take it into sprint backlog, then I can't change it. That becomes a problem for me, correct? So
Right.
CR and project management plan are not so relevant in Agile. I will not say they are irrelevant. They are not so relevant. Yes, Raj, you unmuted. So you had some observation?
Yeah. So what if when PM is Scrum Master?
When PM is Scrum Master, what do we do? And that's what they have said very clearly, Raj. In Agile practice, they have said that if you are the Scrum Master, and that is probably so, Raj, for project manager in the Agile environment, the best suitable role is Scrum Master only, correct?
Yes, yes.
The only changing that, you realize we are saying servant leader wala. You take that style. While servant leader is not the typical style for a project management otherwise. He need to keep everything in control. If you go by the PMBOK thing, it is there. So when you go there, you will have to do that. And that's where, did you realize, Raj, Kuldeep was very clearly saying कि ये थोड़ा dream लगता है ऐसा, है ना? It's a dream thing. It's not, थोड़ा theoretical है वो. Correct? Make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So, that self-organized team, motivating team, I mean, it's good to say. It's good to say. But obviously, there is always, a black sheep in the whole lot. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
That black sheep will make things difficult.
एंड दैट इज द रीजन हम जितना भी बोल रहे हैं कि पीएम रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है एजाइल में या फिर स्कोप चेंज कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो पूरा माइंडसेट वैसा नहीं है, तो क्लाइंट्स आल्सो रिएक्ट्स ऑन दैट.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Shishir, I'm sure, I don't know whether you did it, but religious मठ आश्रम वगैरह जो रहते हैं, multiple. Did you? I mean, I'm sure a lot of you people would have visited them sometime.
Yes.
Correct? Everyone visited something sometime.
Yes.
Did you notice if you look the behavior of all the people there, वहां पे भी एक प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर मिलेगा आपको. चेक करो. Check it, friends. Is there a project manager there? वो तंजावुर में क्या है पवन? That कौन सा? They call it as Isha Foundation, ना?
Yeah. That is at Coimbatore. Yeah.
Coimbatore, not Tanjavur. Coimbatore. If you go there, you will find project manager.
Yes. Yeah. Even at the ISKCON as well, we do find them.
Forget about it. Marriage ceremony.
Yes.
प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर होता है, you would realize it. So Shishir, what we are trying to say is that ये this role is there. You can't say that it is no
या
more relevant. It is there because someone has to, वो जो परफॉर्म इंटीग्रेशन, वो एक चक्कर है शिशिर, ये किसी न किसी को करना पड़ता
From
है. Is that correct?
experience, I've seen
हाँ.
Agile working well for startup companies, but anything beyond that, Agile really doesn't match
It becomes
much.
difficult. Exactly.
Correct.
So that's correct. So perform integration, is absolutely funny thing. I mean, इसमें चले जाइए. When office colleagues go for a dinner, खाएंगे पिएंगे मजा करेंगे. That was dinner. वो टेबल में दे विल बुक द टेबल, 10 लोग बैठ जाते हैं. डिड यू नोटिस, इफ यू ऑब्जर्व देम केयरफुली, एक प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है वहां पे. डिड यू नोटिस दैट?
राइट,
दैट
ऑर्डरिंग करना.
दैट्स हाउ इट हैपेंस. परफॉर्म इंटीग्रेशन, this is not something which, without which nothing could run there. So so Kuldeep in that sense makes sense कि वो थोड़ा ड्रीम है. Don't think that there is no project. Call him as a scrum master if you want, but it necessarily boils down to that. And output is called as approved change request. When they say approve, obviously some of the change requests could get rejected as well. And outputs, obviously, because of that project plan, will get updated and documents could get updated. Then comes close project or phase, very important, part of the project, because projects are temporary endeavor. You need to close them. You need to come properly out of it. So that's what is there. Remember, there are two commercial ends very often to a project. This is your project. You might have one or more vendors, correct?
Yes.
And very rarely, but in some situation, you might have one or more customers, correct?
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Mostly one रहेगा, but हो सकता है. It's not impossible. In closing, these two ends basically are not only closing technically, you need to commercially close them as well. Are you getting this? Because now, when, Swati, when you actually over a call agreed with, one of the vendor saying that ki, for this, I told you to send that person, for 8 days, and he has sent it just because Swati called him, he did it. And on the call, you said कि हाँ इसका पेमेंट का मैं देख लूंगी, कर लूंगी. Now,
Yes.
if the project gets over and you go out of that, remember now this remains a promise given by your company to his company. That is no more saying that the finance department from your company, if that I don't know Swati कौन थी यार, मैं उसने थोड़ी ना ये दिया. But now it's a promise between two companies. So closing all the commercial things properly on both the ends is very important aspect, because after that you may not remain as a project manager, and the commitments or statements what you have made are statements made between organizations. That's where commercial closing is important, and it could be on the both the sides, your suppliers as well as your customers there. So process takes care of finalizing, closing all the activities. Resources are released. This is very important, and I think I spoke in this batch about it, saying that in a given company, can you think that you have completed the project, you have released all the resources there, and someone only forgot to log in into the system and mark someone as, he is released. उसका कोई डेट डालना था. They had just
Right.
forgotten to put that date. And I gave you an example. I think I asked that question.
Yes.
Is it possible that there is one person who is coming to the company every day for 6 months, पगार मिल रहा है, सब मिल रहा है, and that guy is doing nothing? Is it possible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
आपने बताया था कि that the PM can forget to release him from the project.
And that release means हमें सब बोल दिया, सब भाषण विषण हो गया शीशे,
हाँ,
सिस्टम में नहीं डाला. And big
system में नहीं
companies
डाला.
में it's very possible.
Right.
If the last thing where I worked was Tech Mahindra, and that to our Hinjawadi office there. So at a given point on time, around 400 people sitting into the cafeteria, वो भी एक cafeteria, there are so many cafeterias. 400 लोग तो आराम से बैठे रहते रहे शीशे के ऊपर. Very common, isn't it? For big companies, it's very common.
Yes,
I
yes.
was told Infi has, whatever, 6, 7 cafeterias itself. तुमको कुछ पता नहीं चलने वाला है unless someone goes into the system and marks it. The moment he marks it, someone else report will reflect. हाँ, ये आदमी खाली है. And then someone will start counting. But if you have forgotten that into the system, they will conveniently say that this guy is busy. And then it could be a problem. So that's what they are, trying to necessarily say. Okay? एक मिनट. हेलो सौरभ. हाँ, मैं कॉल करूं, मेरा एक सेशन खत्म हो रहा है अराउंड 1:30 का. Okay, so coming back to this, that releasing projects are reviewed to ensure that all the activities are completed and project has achieved the desired objective. Very important thing, you need to ensure it covers activity necessary to satisfy the completion exit criteria. Deliverables are handed over, and issues, if there are any, are resolved. Get the customer acceptance and release the resources. Completion of the contractual agreement, very important. If there are any payables, there are any receivables, go ahead and mention it very clearly and accept it there with external vendor as well. Capture the lessons learned, audit the project for the success or failure. At the end of it, it's good to audit it that way. Archive the project data, update the procedures template based on the project. Sometimes some templates and all that thing might need and refresh, so go ahead and do it. Good time to do it when you are closing it. Capture the stakeholder satisfaction. This process must be done even when projects are prematurely closed. The closed project wala process you will have to do it, even if the final deliverables were not accepted due to whatever, due to customer pulling out of it and all that. Kuch bhi rahega, you need to do that. Inputs, project charter, business plan. Most interesting is business document. Did you notice this was used as an input for develop project charter? And now when you are going to close the project, you are taking this also as an input. What do you think is the reason? The same thing, BC and BMP.
Yeah.
Is it wise to have them now? Why?
सर वो कंपेयर करने के लिए ना कि ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव हुआ है नहीं है.
Exactly. Compare करना पड़ेगा कि what was our plan and what out of that we have achieved it. So it's a good idea to compare it with the thing. Then sometimes agreement, closure ke there are some agreement related criteria as well. So you should go ahead and refer it to them. Then comes procurement documentation. Because as I told you, two sides, vendor
I
side also.
can't hear anything. I'm not
Is
sure
it?
if it's just me.
No, we can.
I can
Yeah, we
hear
can.
you now.
Now
Oh,
it's there. Was there a gap in between?
I think some network issue at my end, but I'm
Okay,
back.
not a problem. Okay, good. So as I told you, the project has vendors and customers. So procurement documentation are required for closing at the vendor end. Whatever was agreed with the vendor, what was there, you have given the PO. Has he supplied everything which was there as per the purchase order? Are there any open things there and all that thing? So procurement documentation is also an input there. OPS could be closure report, procedures and all that. Closing is obviously an
सर ये
expert.
ओपीए कैसे रहेगा, थोड़ा आप बताइए ना.
Which one? ये?
ओपीएस, हाँ, ये इनपुट में कैसे रहेगा ये?
हाँ, project closure report, procedure and template. All the companies do have. There is a procedure.
हाँ, अच्छा
So
उसका एक्सिट यूज करके उसको
Yeah.
बंद करेंगे.
Maybe
you
a
will have to use
specific
that
way to
template.
close, right?
Correct. That's a specific way to close it. So
हाँ,
those
ठीक है सर, ठीक है.
you need to follow. Expert judgment is obviously required where the project manager comes. At the close, lot of analysis is done, by the way. Even in the closing, analysis is done. For example, document analysis. Read all the documents, whether they are done, all the open actions are done and all that.
Change
Regression, very
request and all,
important.
right?
Regression analysis. Regression analysis is checking each of the thing which happened. Why did that happen? Our Java estimates were overshoot by 20%. Why did this happen? We have saved 4 lakhs rupees on the hardware cost. How was this possible? All that you need to do, that analysis is very important because now you are closing it. So before closing, it's good to do all that analysis there. Then comes trend analysis and variance analysis. Correct. So these are all the analysis you need to do it. Trend analysis will say at the start of the project, we were very slow, but then we picked up the speed in between, and maybe we became little dull, in the end. Now, that's the trend. Why did that happen? We need to check it. Remember, all that thing finally could be captured as a lessons learned, so that in future you might go ahead and take the rectified action there.
तो यहाँ भी हमको अपने उन नवरत्नों की जरूरत रहेगी, राइट?
Obviously, all over, all over. If you look at it here, Shishir, everything what you do here, integration mein, this guy will always need these people. This guy will always need these people. Monitor and control, all those. That's how it works, isn't it? In close project, obviously, there are no process, but these processes are there. They will be there. Correct?
लेकिन सर ये आइडियल सिचुएशन है, राइट? लाइक एज पर पिमबॉक, बिकॉज नॉर्मली तो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर ही सब कर रहा होता है.
हाँ, अभी क्या होता है, दिस डिपेंड्स मारिया, बिकॉज व्हाट आर यू विजुअलाइजिंग एज अ प्रोजेक्ट. You are visualizing that you have a team of 15 people and a project running for 2 months, 3 months, maybe even 6 months. 15 people jahan tak hai, Maria, you will be
राइट,
able to do it, correct?
राइट,
If you have 60 people, I'm sure you will not be able to do it.
करेक्ट, यस,
You will certainly
Yes.
need, the guys, and you will take help of them. It's very common, isn't it?
Right.
यस, यस.
So that's how it happens. See, typically in IT world, they would not go ahead and break it. They are broken as a smaller project. So in that smaller project, obviously आपको वो 9 लोग थोड़ी देगा मारिया. I mean, in fact, it is other way around, Maria. I have seen it that project manager ये सब करके और थोड़ा technical deliverable भी करता है. Correct?
करेक्ट. अभी तो वही
That is
एक्सपेक्टेशन
more
है.
common actually, isn't it?
हाँ, क्योंकि यूजुअली प्रोग्राम्स रहते हैं और फिर
Hmm.
उसको फर्दर प्रोजेक्ट्स में डिवाइड करके
Exactly.
फिर एक प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर रहता है. लाइक वो मेरा करंट रोल है, तो वो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर ही सब कुछ कर रहा होता है. बट यू आर राइट कि टीम साइज इज रिलेटिवली.
They will give a beautiful name, Maria, saying that she is a techno-functional manager. जो बोलना बोलना वही बोलो, but finally उसका मतलब वही होता है, Maria. Correct?
एग्जैक्टली.
हाँ, वही है टेक्निकल
आजकल जॉब
मैनेजर.
जॉब जॉब रोल वही हो गया, टेक्निकल प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर.
It's a
हाँ,
compliment.
TPM,
वही है.
Beautiful.
technical project
Management में
manager.
this is very common, Maria. We use very beautiful words, but finally it boils down to something which is really silly, but that's how it happens. Okay. Now, meetings to close the project, which is there, confirm the delivery of the product with the customer, validate that exit criteria is done, gather the lessons learned, knowledge transfer, and this one, don't forget this, because as I told you, people related 42% questions are going to come. So one of the thing in the closure is celebrate the closure. They said do that if there are anything called as the rewards and recognitions, R&R. If there are any rewards and recognitions, you should go ahead and do it before you close the project, so that
यस.
you don't keep it open. That's what PMI always says. So that's what is this thing and outputs. So typically what we have done, this is what is in the final report. What are the objective, what are the quality objective, have they made? So read it yourself. This takes care of an interesting OPA update. Some templates and all that thing you might go ahead and update there. So that was about this column. If you look at it
तो
here,
हाँ,
this whole column.
Sanjay, this is all about how a project manager will close his or her project. Okay,
Correct.
but I mean, since if your project is very big, right? एक बड़ा umbrella, and then you have program manager, portfolio managers, and other projects which are interrelated.
Hmm.
So उसपे we also need, I mean, those people are also responsible to participate on these closures, right?
Correct. And so in that situation, Shishir, lot of other project managers or some operations manager will be playing a role of customer for your project. Correct?
Hmm.
They are customers, eh?
Right.
Because
Right.
your output is input for them.
Yeah. Correct.
They will demand timeline on you. By the way, Shishir, they are employee of your same company. But वो है वो
Yes.
अलग project manager. His entity is there. His project is going to continue based on what you create.
Hmm.
So it's correct. I mean, you are absolutely right. This entity will continue, and that continuation के लिए तो program manager है ना. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy will ensure it to that that then the thing continues from there. Correct.
Correct. Correct.
Yes. So who opens Chat GPT? or love PMP? What do you want? Yes, anyone?
चैट जीपीटी हमने किया है, लव पीएमपी हमने आई बिलीव
किया नहीं है तो
नहीं,
ट्राई करते,
नहीं
चलो
किया है।
करते। लव PMP sometimes are a little tricky. Sometimes the answers given by them, are not, I don't agree to all of them, but nevertheless, some questions are always debatable. So
सर उसको
let's do it with love PMP.
चैट जीपीटी में डाल के क्रॉस चेक कर सकते हैं ना कि चैट जीपीटी का क्या कहना है उसके बारे में।
मालूम नहीं एग्जैक्टली सेम क्वेश्चन का मिलेगा कि नहीं, लेकिन मिल भी
नहीं
सकता
सर,
है।
अब क्वेश्चन आंसर ही पेश कर क्वेश्चन और वो ऑप्शन ही पेश कर देंगे चैट
तो मिल
जीपीटी
जाता
को।
है, हाँ ठीक है, देखेंगे, नो प्रॉब्लम।
कुछ भी कर सकता है वो।
सो
नहीं, वो
अगर,
चैट जीपीटी डेटा बेस्ड है तो आई आई थिंक सम टाइम थोड़ा बिलीव होने में मुश्किल हो जाता है उससे भी।
हाँ वो है, मैंने उसमें देयर इज नो स्पेसिफिक थिंग देयर, बट
हाँ,
एनीवे लेट्स नॉट वरी, लेट्स शेयर द
और
स्क्रीन, हु डज इट?
जेमिनाई, गूगल का जेमिनाई भी अच्छा काम करता है।
it's
हाँ
all
दीज आर
all
ऑल
like chat gpt only, I mean AI based। हाँ,
करेक्ट। NLP है
हाँ
फाइनली, नेचुरल लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसिंग, इट इज ऑल अबाउट दैट। या कौन कर रहा है शेयर? हु डज इट? आई थिंक शिशिर डन इट इनफ टाइम्स, सो seeing different screen every time is
मैं
always
करता हूँ सर।
pleasure, isn't it? What do you say,
आई कैन
Shishir?
डू इट
yes for sure।
So different
सर, आई
people.
कैन डू इट।
Yes, yes, Kuldeep. So for you, and maybe Kuldeep, because he attended this training before, and seriously he's trying to do it next time. We can always hope that that Pearson View Center with butterflies in the stomach, the first out of you are going to reach is Kuldeep. So Kuldeep शायद पहली बार out of all that will be reaching that Pearson View Center. When are you doing that, Kuldeep?
सर
Hmm?
जल्दी
किया
करेंगे
क्या,
सर।
बुक एग्जाम वगैरह किया? बुक नीचे में है, लव PMP।
ये
थर्ड।
वाला ना।
lovepmp.com ही है, सीधे सीधे, there is no complication related to that, and see now this is there। जो मुफ्त में मिलता है उसके साथ एडवर्टाइज लेना पड़ता है कुल्ली का, सो लेट अस बी,
ठीक है सर, नो
दैट्स अ
प्रॉब्लम।
पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ यार। इंटीग्रेशन, विच वन? नहीं, ऊपर जा, ऊपर जा, हाँ
ब्लू
ठीक
बार।
है, बिलो दैट, थर्ड रो, उसके नीचे में थर्ड रो, हाँ फर्स्ट वन, इंटीग्रेशन। One of the advantage of love PMP is that it has the questions which are marked to the topic. So you can ask only integration and all that related questions. So they are saying look at it, 113 questions, and which is there. Now for reading this, Kuldeep, it is better you click that answer button. It will come in another window. And here the sequence of the options would change. So reading it here is always better. So yes, a project team successfully achieved a key milestone. To discuss this, the team made critical technical requirement on the new process, and then use the process to develop the first of several similar deliverables. What should the project manager do next? Okay, ensure the final costs are recorded, transition the project to operations team, conduct the performance appraisals, and document the lessons learned. Let's try to read the scenario once again. Project team successfully achieved a key milestone. To do this, the team made critical technical requirement on new process, and then used the process to develop the first of several similar deliverables. What should the project manager do next?
D.
Huh?
Document lessons learned.
That's what Maria says. And whenever a girl answers, I always
Not
tell it to
necessarily
boys is
right.
that not
Decision
necessarily
the project.
girls are right. So just kidding, Maria.
No, but that's right. Girls are not always right.
Participative होते हैं. I have seen that. They are participative in the class normally. So they speak, at least they speak. That is the, yes, she says D for Delhi or D for Delta. What do you think? Okay, let's, one of the thing is that eliminate करो, जो नहीं कर सकते वो eliminate करो, okay, and then we'll whatever remain. Ensure that the final costs are recorded. It's a good thing to do, isn't it? you should do it sooner or later, correct?
Yes.
लेकिन
So
सर
it's
वो
not.
ये द टीम मैट क्रिटिकल टेक्निकल रिक्वायरमेंट्स ऑन ए न्यू प्रोसेस, ये समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या
And Maria, did you realize that's the second sentence is what is making the main choice? Correct? The project team successfully achieved the key milestone. Not so great. But see what has happened. Second sentence, to do this, the team met the critical technical requirement on a new process. See, ये पहले नहीं हुआ था. They have done it first time. And they
Yeah.
have successfully doing it. And then use the process to develop the first of several similar deliverables. बेसिकली देर आर गोइंग टू बी 10-15 सिमिलर डिलीवरेबल. इसका पहला खत्म किया इन लोगों ने अभी. आउट ऑफ दोस 15 एक सक्सेसफुली ये लोग बनाए. दैट्स व्हाट इज
Yeah.
दिस सेंटेंस है. व्हाट शुड द प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर डू? सी, रिकॉर्डिंग द कॉस्ट ठीक है यार, कर ही लेंगे ना. आई मीन वेयर ट्रांजिशन द प्रोजेक्ट टू ऑपरेशंस,
अभी
conduct
खत्म
the
नहीं हुआ तो
नहीं
performing.
खत्म होने
उसको
खत्म
हाँ
This is the first milestone they
And
achieve.
now,
Maybe there are multiple.
and why she is right? Document lessons learned, because or there are so many places where you are going to use it. So capture it, yaar. कम से कम let other people go ahead and get the benefit of it immediately, है ना? Are you getting this? वो टिक करने के बाद आएगा. अभी वो करेक्ट वाला नहीं, ग्रीन आता है ऐसे ही. वो क्लिक करना पड़ेगा कुलदीप. जस्ट क्लिक दैट एंड देन यू विल गेट द आंसर. या so the new technology has resulted in improved performance. This needs to be documented in lessons learned so that the future project can benefit from this. And particularly he has given very clear hint, Kuldeep. He said कि इसके ऐसे ही similar बहुत सारे हैं आगे. That makes it very clear कि boss पहला चीज document करो इसको, so that your team subsequently does it properly. Yeah, scroll
सर ये
down.
पीएमपी एग्जाम लेवल का क्वेश्चन है क्या आपके
हाँ, अब
एक्सपीरियंस
ये
में?
टाइप के हो सकते हैं. दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आर पॉसिबल. दे आर ट्रिकी. दे आर नॉट. वो कल वाले बहुत सिंपल थे. वो चैट जीपीटी
नहीं
आई
वो
गॉट लिटिल.
चैट जीपीटी क्वेश्चंस आर बेसिकली एआई बेस्ड जनरेटेड क्वेश्चंस बट ये लव पीएमपी आई बिलीव दे आर कॉपीड फ्रॉम द एक्चुअल एग्जाम्स.
एक्चुअल एग्जाम तो मिलता नहीं है इनको किसी को भी. इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. बट दे आर रिजेंबलिंग अ लॉट टू द एक्चुअल. इनफैक्ट शिशिर, sometimes I have an opinion that sometimes these people are having too complicated questions. मेरे ख्याल से फाइनल एग्जाम शुड नॉट हैव so much of complication. But don't take me seriously. I have given my exam in 2008. उसके बाद मैंने एग्जाम नहीं दिया है, so I have absolutely no idea about it. The people who crack the exam and speak to me, I mean, Shishir, the day on which 180 question solve करके you will get a mail saying कि शिशिर you have congratulations, you have cleared that thing. तो 180 क्वेश्चन तेरे को याद आना तो मुश्किल है. करेक्ट?
करना भी नहीं चाहेंगे.
करना भी नहीं. और ऊपर से तू मेरे को फोन करेगा तो we'll discuss about party, not about whether document the lesson plus पहले करने चाहिए. Will not. What I'm trying
राइट
to say, memorizing those questions and bringing that knowledge out is very difficult there.
राइट.
So things are difficult, but sometimes Kuldeep, answers which are given in low PMP are tricky, and even in some situation I get confused about it. There are some questions where I go ahead and justify something, but I have been proven wrong at times. So don't say that it is always right. Yeah, scroll down. Let's see the next one. Answer wala button daba de, so that then it comes in the next new window. And then the project. A project is migrate an organization's email system to another platform, created unexpected but significant issue on another business critical system. Okay. What should the project manager do? Review the project management plan to include the issue. Ask the project team to resolve the issue. Inform the stakeholder of the issue and update the issue log.
सर पहले ही ये सेकंड होना चाहिए क्योंकि सबसे पहले तो
Inform the
प्रायोरिटी उसका
stakeholders on this issue.
रिजॉल्व करने में होगा पहला.
A and D, alpha and delta, are
A.
gone. They are gone. Why they are gone? Pawan?
Guys,
Or
Because there is a fire, Pawan. There is a fire. And what are you doing on documents? A and D are actually taking you towards the documentation. Correct, boy?
Yes.
And when there is a fire, you can't look at document. You need to do something actionable.
Right.
Beta and Charlie, B and C are action oriented. Correct?
Yeah.
So alpha and delta are gone just because they are documentation. Documentation cannot be the focus right now. Now comes to ask the project team to resolve the issue. Very good thing. Inform the stakeholder of the issue. Amongst this, you need to choose. You are still having both of these are action oriented things.
Yeah.
Yes.
थर्ड इसका
ये
इसका
स्टेक
थर्ड भी
होल्डर
थर्ड का रीजन
करेंगे
हो
क्या
सकता
उसमें?
है कि
Significant actually making me
Second
confused
है,
रिजॉल्व
to
yeah,
सेकंड होना
probably
चाहिए,
C.
to
resolve the
Inform.
stakeholder or
issue.
not.
बी होना चाहिए,
No,
बी.
inform the stakeholders.
Why?
Those people
Because
who
it is
say
क्योंकि वो अनदर बिजनेस
inform the
क्रिटिकल
इन
stakeholder, what is the advantage of inform the stakeholder and what is
Because
the
it is
I
advantage of
mean,
ask the project team?
time.
we can buy in time in for
Yes.
resolve this issue.
Exactly. Basically,
Just a
B
heads up
might
for
take
them.
little bit of time.
Yeah.
B might take little bit of time.
Yes.
Till then, inform them pahla. If you inform them, then they said, have you heard that? Sometimes you all people are actually doing the project thing. Customer sometimes grumbles saying, "ये तू बताया क्यों नहीं यार मेरे को?" Have you
true.
heard that
Yeah.
statement?
Yes.
C is about that. He can't say that कि बताया क्यों नहीं. He would be unhappy about the failure, but he would not say that you didn't even tell me. And side by side, you might start doing B as well. But amongst those two, if you want to choose, you need to choose select one. The third one is the
See.
best one than the second one. तो ये ना थोड़ा कुलदीप ये
बट
segregation करना पड़ेगा हमें. Did you notice how did I remove A and D? I
यस
said
सर
it's an
Yeah.
document oriented. बाजू रखो यार, documentation करूंगा ना मैं बाद में.
बट संजय, हम स्टेक होल्डर्स इन्फॉर्म करते हैं, बट बिफोर दैट फर्स्ट लेवल ऑफ रिजॉल्व करने का ट्राई हम करते ही है ना. आई मीन
What if it takes more
आई
time?
मीन then obviously then we'll go to stakeholders, but we need to first check. I mean, maybe it's a very small
It
thing
is
which
so silly कि
No,
पता है यार. Now
no.
that's all debatable.
The
That's
thing
what I'm
is
saying.
like,
Exactly.
uh,
Now this
no,
is
if it takes,
exactly debatable, isn't it?
yeah,
Hmm.
if
I
it takes
think
very
it,
less time, then we can take credit for our achievement. So I'll do this thing. First,
हाँ.
I'll inform the stakeholder. Then, if it is resolvable, it's like
अच्छा, so
in a
Raj,
day
you
or
are
two.
actually trying to
Then,
get benefit of both. Even
तो
if
भी
it
yes,
अपना
doesn't
अपना
get resolved, you will get a credit for informing the people.
yeah,
And if you are able to resolve, you said कि मैं अब भी बोला था, but don't worry, हो गया है. Correct? So
yes,
you are right. I mean,
But
that is
then
another
then
way to look at it.
stakeholder will ask lot of things, root cause and other things, and then he will say,
no, root cause is
why you
when
have not identified this in advance? I mean, lot of things will go on toss, right? I mean, then you need to do a lot of things if you involve stakeholders.
Hey,
I
but if
think
you
it
look at
is
it
what
that way,
you
Shishir,
do
this is before submission, right?
practically as opposed to what you would do theoretically. I think theoretically you would inform the stakeholders, but in practice we actually do both of those things in parallel.
सर पहले
I
तो
mean,
वो
if you
आग
are able
बुझाने
to do parallel, there is nothing to worry. But one amongst them you want to choose, C should be the answer. But as I told you, Shishir, we could go wrong. These people might say B as well. But अभी देखते हैं अपना luck. Let's try. Yeah, click. And yes, it was right. Since the affected system is business critical immediately. हाँ, see ऊपर में. Did you notice?
Significant.
Business significant लिखा है इसने. It's a business critical system. So updates will become, obviously they will take the precedence over even resolving that particular issue. So
मैं तो
good.
सबसे पहले रोल बैक कराता हूँ.
I mean, if rollback is going to work, hopefully.
But at the same time, parallelly, you may be informing it to the stakeholder as well. कि ये चीज problem हुई and we are taking this
Right,
steps.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, दोनों
in parallel,
पैरेलल
actually.
ही होता है, right?
Parallel.
Yeah.
Okay, take the third one. ओए कहाँ गया आंसर? हाँ, एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स बढ़ते जा रहे. ओके. Sharing the project information is at most important for the organization. Project knowledge is there. shared on multiple systems, service apps, the area of location becoming an unwillingly for some of the project team member. What is the best option for project manager to manage the project knowledge in this situation? So too many systems and you need to put data in all of them, getting difficult. Number one, consolidate the stream or streamline the sharing processes wherever it is possible. Close down some of the systems that the project team notes as burdensome. Compromise with the team to allow each of them to post the tool as they find good. Coordinated
A,
a weekly meeting to post all the lessons learned once.
A or D?
A,
A or D?
A sounds good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Consolidate and streamline, streamline the sharing process where possible. Okay. Why not take B? Close down some of the system that project team find as burdensome.
सर वो
ये
उनका एरिया नहीं है ना, वो दो सिस्टम
knee-jerk है नहीं है. हाँ. And knee-jerk है नहीं है. I mean, this is even if it is in your control, Kuldeep. ये knee-jerk है कि कुछ लोग आए बोले कि हाँ ये करने के लिए तकलीफ and you went ahead and said ये बंद कर डालो सारा इसको. So that's not right. So B is gone because of, it's a knee-jerk type of reaction, which is not really good. Compromise with the team to allow each of the people. Now, what is happening? Sharing of project information. Now, reading the scenario. Sharing of the project information is utmost important for the organization. So, it is important. Project knowledge is shared in multiple systems, services, and apps. The area of locations is becoming overwhelming, and some of the project team for some of the team member, I mean, look at it, not all, for some. What is the
yeah,
best option for the project manager to manage the project knowledge in such a scenario? Now, closing it is not right. Compromise with the team to allow each post the tool they find most productive. Now, this will create, this will remain array. It will be more like a tick in the box, correct, friends?
Yeah.
yeah,
जिसको जैसा लगता है करो, but then finally you will not achieve the impact there. And coordinate a weekly meeting to post all the teams in knowledge in once.
Time, I mean,
मिस हो
but
जाएगा और डॉक्यूमेंट्स.
मिस हो जाएगा इन मोस्ट ऑफ द सिचुएशन, ये मिस हो जाएगा. आर यू गेटिंग दिस फ्रेंड्स?
yeah.
इट विल नॉट हैपन. ये ऐसे ड्रीम है, ये ऐसे नहीं होने वाला है. सो द फर्स्ट वन लुक्स टू बी द बेस्ट इन द गिवन सिचुएशन. So let's stick it and try to check whether we are right. Just check it. So scenario is related to ऑलरेडी अच्छा खासा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया है जो आप आराम से पढ़ो. अभी क्या हो रहा है? दिस कुलदीप whose screen
यस
we are
सर,
seeing. ये
यस
कुलदीप,
सर.
ये क्या हो रहा है? Because integration click करके we are solving the questions which actually came here are the same which came in some other batch as well. तो इसमें तुम लोग तो पढ़ रहे हो भाई कि मैं पढ़ नहीं रहा हूँ. तो थोड़ा एक 8-10 क्वेश्चन खाली नीचे स्क्रॉल करना,
हाँ
वहां का ट्राई
डेफिनेटली.
करते हैं. हाँ, मे
पेज
बी, या
5 से.
करेक्ट, गो टू द फिफ्थ. तो अभी पक्का ये दिस विल बी द न्यू वन विच आई हैव नॉट केम अक्रॉस. सो शिशिर, नाउ आई कुड गो रॉन्ग. ओके, गुड. While looking at the project, ये क्या है? Okay, cost baseline graph shows below. A project manager sees the stair step. Okay, अच्छा stair step बोल रहा है. Okay, हाँ, stair step line last point is higher than the estimated at completion. EAC से ऊपर actual line has gone. That dotted line is, नहीं, that dotted is future, I think. Actual is only up to some time. The projection is more than budgeted at completion. So trend analysis, he is realizing we are going to. What does the relationship mean to the project? It is actually, trying to say, look at it here. What are you getting? It is projected that you might exceed the initial area. BAC नीचे है. Did you notice that? BAC is what? अरे सॉरी, हाँ, कॉस्ट वाला चैप्टर ही नहीं पढ़ा
कॉस्ट
है
बेस्ड
आपको. हाउ
लाइन है
कैन आई
वो.
आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन एंड हाउ डिड दे आस्क दिस अंडर द इंटीग्रेशन? बट एनीवे,
सर
सो
ऑप्शन देखेंगे इसका
no,
क्या बोलता
let's
है.
try to,
ठीक.
yeah.
हाँ, देखो देखो, ट्राई करो. प्रोजेक्ट इज
प्रोजेक्ट
बिहाइंड
बिहाइंड द
स्केड्यूल.
शेड्यूल. नहीं, बिहाइंड शेड्यूल तो नहीं है, कॉस्ट बढ़ा है बस.
Total funding of the project exceeds the
B.
project's anticipated need.
Project, yes.
The management is too large, and project is running over budget.
ये तो सर वो चैप्टर में नहीं, अभी कवर ही नहीं हुआ है ये सब।
हुआ नहीं है,
B,
बट
B.
आपको क्या लगता है?
और
B
बजट तो
या
चल ही रहा है।
D?
हाँ,
Project is running
फंडिंग
over budget.
फंडिंग रिक्वायरमेंट्स है बट वी डोंट हैव फंडिंग ओवर
Then
बजट सर।
ये
estimated
हुआ नहीं है,
completion.
अभी
हाँ
तक आपका टॉपिक ही नहीं हुआ है. दिस इज इन द कॉस्ट चैप्टर, बट दे हैव पुट इट इनटू इंटीग्रेशन. व्हाट कैन वी डू?
डी ही लग रहा है।
Project is
The
running over
project is
budget.
running over budget.
डी फॉर डेली और डेल्टा ना? डी फॉर डेली, करेक्ट? या ट्राई कर.
Yeah.
आई थिंक इवन दैट्स राइट. दैट शुड बी. या क्लिक कर.
Oh
Oh,
no,
B, B.
पहली
what
बार
he's
है
saying
फेल।
now, ये description
Try
when it
check.
comes, it
Click
will be
on
wrong.
B. Kuldeep,
I told you, no, I sometimes go wrong here.
try checking on B.
बी होगा फिर।
Baseline is time based thing which is the stair steps
वो
like
नहीं
that.
सेलेक्ट करने देते।
In this we have
Refresh.
total
नहीं आंसर
funding for
आंसर
the
तो दे
project
दिया है ना।
No, refresh it.
exceeded
Refresh the
the
page.
project's
Controller.
anticipated need.
No.
The funding needs B दिया है इसने. So he is, that's what he is.
Over budget.
But anyway, we will see
अरे
this, you know,
इसने
cost
सीक्वेंस
chapter.
सीक्वेंस चेंज कर दिया।
हाँ, sequence change होता है. Every time when
हाँ
you refresh ना वो
So
options
it's
get
still B.
reset.
Yeah. The one we selected is still B. Yeah.
Yeah,
Project.
take it below. Let's see the next one. ये कॉस्ट पे आ गए रे ये क्वेश्चन.
हाँ,
हाँ
है।
देख, ये कॉस्ट पे आ
कोर्स है
गए.
सर।
हाँ नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से we
रुको
go
सर,
in
अभी करते हैं।
integration next set of questions.
अभी करते हैं सर।
हाँ, वो फिफ्थ पे नहीं जाना, मेरे ख्याल से सेकंड थर्ड पे जा, तो शायद इंटीग्रेशन वाले ही. हाँ,
इंटीग्रेशन।
this is
Third.
हाँ इंटीग्रेशन।
because you know getting frustrated by solving the question which you have not learnt would be really ridiculous.
अगर पास हो जाते तो कम से कम अच्छा लगता।
हाँ. The purpose of lessons learned is to bring together the insights gained during the project that can be usefully applied on future projects. Okay, that's a statement. When should a project manager ideally commence this activity? Good. When should the lessons learned be captured? Is at the start of the project execution, from the project kickoff, at the start of project planning, and during the closure.
At the start of project execution.
Yes. That's
They're
what, who says
confused
that?
between A and C.
नहीं, ये
This
बोल रहा है द पर्पस ऑफ लेसन लर्न।
project execution में वो होता है कि like you can't able to until unless you start executing the project you don't you know.
During the project closure.
No.
That should be D, I believe.
Project B in kickoff.
We are talking about
After
lessons learned.
from
बट ये he's it's saying the purpose of lesson learned is to bring together and gain during the project that can be successfully
सर वो
After
49
kickoff.
Can
तो
this
sheet है आपका
commence?
49।
So it
हाँ,
says
commence is
when
activity.
नहीं हो सकता।
when should a project
इसमें
manager
इसमें कहाँ
ideally
लाई कर सकते हैं?
commences this activity? So
Commence
when should it
collecting the lesson learned or learning from the lesson learned.
bring together any insights gained during a project? That means
Commences.
putting it together, right?
Putting it together could be in closer, but learning from it and giving it to the new team or for new project could be on.
पुटिंग टुगेदर कहाँ लिखा है इसने?
It commence
Putting together तो
basically.
नहीं लिखा है।
Commence this activity, and which
हाँ.
activity? The purpose of
No.
lessons learned is being captured together in insight is to bring together any insight gained during the project that can be usefully applied to future project.
ये तो
फ्यूचर
definition दे
प्रोजेक्ट
दिया।
है तो
The
This
activity.
is similar to the same question that we had earlier, right? In the second question.
Yes, Pawan, what's
This is same like earlier question that we had. I mean, the second question. We are actually trying to build up, you know, the future projects with the same lessons learned. So I think it is like after project execution. I mean, at the start of the project execution only you will identify like there is a kind of change in the.
but we already know this.
one very funny justification I am trying to give? So listen to that. It could be that it is almost like asking a question: when can you learn the new lessons learned? I would say right from kickoff, you can learn the lessons learned.
Yes.
In kickoff, you might actually get a lesson saying that if you send the invite to all the people, half of them don't turn up. And a lesson there is that, it is better you pick up a phone and tell it to all the people who you want. That could be a lesson learned which will come on kickoff meeting itself. So
Hmm.
some lessons could come at the kickoff as well. अब ये मेरा justification है, by the way, Swati.
अब
So don't think
अब
this is
नॉर्मली
only
सर
right.
हाँ
एक
बट
सेकंड एक इसमें एक कैविएट है सर।
हम्म
ये फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, तो
हाँ,
फ्यूचर
No,
के
it is
नो
हिसाब
just
नो
से
इट
justifying
इज
कि
जस्ट
ये है क्या,
डेफिनेशन ना,
हाँ
इट इज
they are useful
डेफिनेशन
for
statement
ऑफ
future only.
लेसन लर्न।
Hmm.
हाँ वो एक्चुअली
But
कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है, वो एक स्टेटमेंट ही है, तो फिर
ठीक है सर। सर हाँ, लेट्स ब्रेनस्टॉर्म लिटिल बिट मोर एंड
हाँ,
देन वी सेलेक्ट समथिंग।
so I mean, B could be also right. I mean, lesson learned. Normally, we learn lesson
वो लास्ट में ही
during
करते
the
हैं।
closure of the project. Okay, and if the same team is continue for the next project as well, or maybe I mean, whatever you learn, maybe you don't know, right? Your team will be same for the next project or what. So whatever you learn from any project, you will learn during closure, and that will remain in your mind for the future projects. तो इनिशियल पे भी हो सकता है, बट लर्निंग प्रोसेस नॉर्मली विल डू ऑन क्लोजर एज वेल।
Yeah, that
learning
makes
will happen
sense.
all over, Shishir. Capture could be done on Gloria.
नहीं सर,
But
लर्निंग विल डू ऑन
So,
क्लोजर बट विल अप्लाई दैट लर्निंग इन ऑल ओवर। आई मीन लर्निंग विल डू ऑन क्लोजर।
hmm,
नहीं नहीं, लर्निंग
even
क्लोजर पे
learning
क्यों होगा, वो तो
capture
हर
will
एक
be
स्टेज पे होगी ना लर्निंग
correct.
तो।
हाँ आई मीन
सर
आप
ये भी
अब
इसमें
डिपेंड
एक
करता है कि
पॉइंट ये
कितना
भी
बड़ा
होगा
है।
कि
when you
टीम
say
ड्यूरिंग
closure,
ड्यूरिंग द
Shishir,
प्रोजेक्ट एक्चुअली देखो, ये जो हाईलाइटेड है दिस एक्चुअली इज स्टेटिंग कि वो ड्यूरिंग द एंटायर प्रोजेक्ट
मतलब
हमको वो लर्निंग होता
हाँ,
जा रहा है। अब ये
तो लास्ट में
एक्टिविटी
इसको
हमको
करते हैं।
कब स्टार्ट करनी है, तो दिस इज व्हाट दे सेइंग कि आइडियली कमेंस दिस एक्टिविटी, लर्निंग का एक्टिविटी हमको कब से स्टार्ट करना है। अर्लियर आल्सो आई वाज थिंकिंग अबाउट द प्रोजेक्ट क्लोजर, बट आई आल्सो गो विद किक ऑफ नाउ एक्चुअली।
Try करते, let's see what is
चलो
his
ठीक है आपका।
justification.
yeah.
It is always debatable. ए वो पहला
Hmm.
लिया.
नॉट एग्जीक्यूशन, इट्स किक ऑफ
I
Kick
was
off.
thinking
B.
B.
सेकंड। या
हाँ, now click that. After click only you get the answer. See, this is right. Manage project knowledge is the process using existing knowledge there and creating new knowledge of achieving the thing. The process is performed throughout the project. So he has said throughout the project, which includes the kickoff as well. That was the logic with which they have said it. और एक
ओके
try करेंगे and then maybe we'll close for the day. Okay?
श्योर।
ये थोड़े tricky है. Did you realize this,
हाँ
Shishir?
ऐसे क्वेश्चन
Yeah,
आएंगे
As
तो
these
फिर
compared
are.
कैसे
to
पूछ
huh?
At times, what happens is like, uh,
नहीं, I
I
am
अभी
feel all
comparing with
the
इंटरेस्टिंग
options
है,
are
ChatGPT.
correct.
ये
और
भी
इसने
इंटरेस्टिंग
ChatGPT,
है
these
कि
are
एक
tricky.
वर्ड का भी मीनिंग अगर हमने मिसअंडरस्टूड कर दिया, मे बी अगर हमने कमेंट्स का ही मीनिंग कुछ और समझा तो पूरा मीनिंग ही गड़बड़ हो गया क्वेश्चन का ही।
That is one, Swati. Another thing is that which phrase out of the question caught your eyes.
यस,
राइस
If you end
राइट
up concentrating on a different phrase, आपका ब्रेन वहां पे चला गया तो आपका आंसर चॉइस चेंज हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल
फिर
एग्जैक्टली।
So that's
ओवर कुक होते होते कुछ और हो जाता है।
कुछ और
हाँ.
ही निकल गया।
बट एनीवे, अभी क्या है, ये अच्छा लग रहा है ना मारिया एंड एवरीवन, हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, ये नहीं रहेगा वहां पे, वो चांस नहीं है. ये सब चीज तेरे को यू वांट टू डू इट इन 75 seconds. So that's beautiful.
हाँ, नेक्स्ट टाइम से टाइमर लगा के कोशिश करेंगे।
Okay. Although it is highly recommended that the lessons learned and are captured and documented throughout the project life cycle, lessons learned are finalized during the project closure. Correct. Finalized is there. At this stage, responses to high-level questions may be gathered and documented. Which of the following is not appropriate question to ask at this stage when you are closing it? What were the top significant process successes? I think it's a good one. Only one
या
is wrong, he's saying. I think successes you should you should discuss when you are closing. What obstacle or anticipated circumstances made it difficult to complete the project? Yes, that's a good thing to discuss. How relevant the historic lessons learned were to this project during executions? ये भी ठीक ही है. What should have been done differently in this project? अरे यार, now we are in catch.
all the answers.
सी लग रहा है
सी
इसमें थोड़ा, मतलब सी भी
सी
ठीक है, लेकिन चारों में कंपेयर करें तो सी थोड़ा सा लीस्ट लग रहा है।
Weak you are
आई
saying
मीन
amongst them.
क्योंकि पॉइंट डी इज काइंड ऑफ रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव,
हाँ.
तो वो तो लेसन लर्न ही हुआ।
What
Hmm.
should have been done different in this project? What should have been done differently in this project? But ये आप क्यों डिस्कस करें? You are closing it ना.
आई मीन कुछ फेलियर होता है या कुछ ठीक नहीं हुआ रहता, देन ओनली विल से कि भाई व्हाट शुड हैव, हाँ इसमें करेक्ट
No,
ये नहीं लिखा है,
तो
हाँ
उसको इम्प्रूव
you know
करने के
what?
लिए मे बी
इम्प्रूवमेंट,
हमने कोई
हाँ
चीज अचीव कर भी ली, लेकिन उसको हम
हम्म.
और कैसे अच्छे तरीके से कर सकते थे। इट्स रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव एज वन सेड।
No,
Correct.
I'll go with D because this is done after the deliverable is made.
नो, द एंटायर प्रोजेक्ट इज डन।
Captured throughout the project life cycle. Lessons learned ये तो
मे बी
पहला
हमने मॉनिटरिंग ठीक से
motherhood
नहीं
statement
करी।
है. Finally doing at this stage, responses to high level questions may be gathered and documented. Okay? Which of the following is not an appropriate? High
But
level
during,
questions are
देखो
gathered
देखो
I
and
mean,
पॉइंट,
documented.
during project closure,
हाँ.
हाँ वो ड्यूरिंग प्रोजेक्ट को है, बट पॉइंट सी
is
is why point C, if you see how relevant is historic lesson learned were to this project during execution. See, ये हम करते ही नहीं, देखो हमारा काम है हमेशा लेसन लर्न को कैप्चर करना। इट डजेंट मीन कि वो आगे काम आएगा नहीं आएगा, मे बी इन सब प्रोजेक्ट्स इट्स वर्क, इन सम प्रोजेक्ट इट डजेंट वर्क, उसको रिलेवेंट करना, विद द हिस्टोरिकल लेसन लर्न कि इस प्रोजेक्ट में काम आया कि नहीं आया, आई डोंट थिंक इट इज नेसेसरी टू डिस्कस।
नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से D looks to be better for a simple reason. He is saying what should have been done differently in this project. अब ये खत्म हुआ है. This is a history now. While
बट सर
remaining three are
रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव में तो
pointing
ये
at the
कॉमन
future.
क्वेश्चन, रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव में तो ये कॉमन क्वेश्चन रहता है, कि
हाँ, मेरे को तो
yes.
सी
हाँ
Yeah,
लग रहा है।
it is
हाँ
आई गो
it
बाय
is a
सी।
So,
retrospective question. What should have been
yeah.
done differently?
तो मेरे लिए इस
So,
हिसाब से तो सी है।
no.
सॉरी, गो अहेड राज।
When do we go with this retrospective? That is after sprint, when the
हाँ तो
sprint is done,
दैट्स
right?
स्प्रिंट इज योर
So
प्रोजेक्ट ओनली
now,
ना।
in this question, in the first line itself, they say during project closure. That means it is not done yet. So,
नो नो नो, फॉर स्क्रम योर स्प्रिंट इज योर स्मॉल प्रोजेक्ट, राइट? I mean, every time you'll do delivery, sprint review, that's what you are closing a sprint, right? That's how you don't consider a full project in Scrum, right? I mean, sprint is your project, right?
एंड स्प्रिंट में भी वो लास्ट इवेंट सेरेमनी है
That is
फॉर क्लोजिंग द
retrospective.
स्प्रिंट।
Yes,
हाँ,
yes, that is
तो इट इज
retrospective.
समथिंग सिमिलर कि प्रोजेक्ट का रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव करते टाइम बिफोर एक्चुअली क्लोजिंग इट वी डू दी फाइनल रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव कि क्या चीज इसमें इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं फॉर द फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्ट्स। दैट्स हाउ आई एम लुकिंग एट इट।
Yeah, this looks like a statement for improvement. Like what?
या क्योंकि अगर हमारे पास हिस्टोरिक लेसन्स आएंगे, वो कहीं ना कहीं से तो हमने रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव करा है ना, तभी वो लिस्ट बनी है। तो मे बी दिस इज द फाइनल स्टेप। तो आई स्टिल गो बाय सी।
Hmm.
Uh,
हाँ मतलब
yes, my word
lesson,
will be also
हाँ
C. Why? Because like we are talking about high-level questions may be gathered and documented. So out of four, I believe like all these questions are important. But like at a high level, when you concentrate on while closing, how relevant the historic data means to you is like it's not a top-level question, or that is what I am thinking of. Maybe
ये
that is true.
बिसाइड हैविंग दिस नॉलेज कि हमको कितना हिस्टोरिकल लेसन से काम आया
फायदा
नहीं
हुआ है,
आया,
हाँ,
वी आर
हाँ
एनीवेज नॉट गोइंग
anyway,
टू
नहीं,
उसको ठीक
हाँ
नहीं करने जा रहे हैं हम।
right, right,
अगर मिल
exactly.
भी
और
गया
वो
हमको उसका आंसर तो
राइट,
कुछ नहीं करने के हम उसमें।
True.
okay.
So I see like my answer is on C.
माइन एज वेल।
कैन यू सेलेक्ट सी एंड चेक?
चलो
D.
भैया,
I'll go with D.
I was
मेजोरिटी विंस
thinking
कराओ यार।
D, but let's
Yeah,
scrap.
now I'm so confused.
Oops.
चलो।
Oh, C was the answer.
हम्म
Lessons learned are extremely useful as they can save a lot of rework and mitigate the number of risk on the future project. However, validating the relevant historical lessons learned to the project being closed do not add any value. How
एग्जैक्टली
relevant the
दिस,
historic lessons learned were
यही
to
बोला
this project in this? I mean, so
दिस।
basically, this is all.
Not
दिस इज व्हाट आई
explicitly
वाज सेइंग,
stated
ये
in
अपना
PM
काम
version.
है लेसन लर्न कैप्चर करना, वेदर इट इज गोइंग टू बी अप्लाइड और नॉट, दैट इज सिचुएशन बेस्ड।
And this is
Swati,
past
Swati
wale.
has got this answer, like project
Good.
being not first.
That's that I think we'll stop on that particular note. Little tricky one question, but otherwise we are doing fairly good there. Yes.
What?
Any
बट
पास हो जाएगा
बहुत
पीएम
गड़बड़ है भाई, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे तो कैसे
हाँ, मैं भी डर गई हूँ अभी। अच्छा एग्जाम बुक नहीं किया।
No, I say PM work. No, this one
एक्चुअली वो
is.
क्या है कि वो करते करते वो ग्रिप आने लगती है वो।
So
आ
this
आ जाती
website
है
seems
grip
to
आती,
be
correct.
website seems to be good, Sanjay.
Oh,
Uh,
it is
यस
working.
no, the one that you love, PMP. It
Huh.
seems to be good
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
this is good.
research
This is
questions.
certainly
यस
good,
यस
Pawan. More than Chat GPT. No, this is certainly a good, website. So
सर वो
good. I
वेबसाइट
think that
क्यों
was.
काम नहीं कर रहा है आपका, ये
Huh?
देखिए ना सर,
वो एक
Dal?
बार
वेबसाइट नहीं काम कर रहा है आपका।
पूरा हिस्ट्री वगैरह क्लियर करो आप, ऑल
क्या है?
टैब्स, क्लोज ऑल टैब्स एंड देन सी, फर्स्ट क्लोज ऑल टैब्स।
Did something
इनकॉग्निटो में
came?
एक बार ट्राई करके देखना, इनकॉग्निटो में ओपन होता है क्या?
हाँ उसमें करना
पहले
चाहिए।
तो इसमें हो रहा था, पता नहीं अभी नया क्या है।
Incognito में open हो रहा है. You opened in my
अगर
office
उसमें हो
laptop.
रहा है तो
मैं एक्चुअली
फिर
क्रोम में यूज कर रहा था, इफ यू सी इफ क्रोम कैन वर्क।
Yeah, Chrome
नहीं
Oh,
पहले इसमें बराबर हो
Incognito.
रहा था, ये अभी क्या है, ये कल से ये शुरू हुआ है कुछ तो। चलो इसमें अब इनकॉग्निटो करके देख लेते हैं।
Control N, na? Control
नहीं
N.
तो एक काम करो,
सर
सिस्टम
ब्लॉक तो नहीं किया
रेस्टोर,
मुझे आपने?
रेस्टोर सिस्टम।
सर आपने मुझे ब्लॉक तो नहीं कर दिया आपकी वेबसाइट से?
अरे तुझे ब्लॉक क्यों करूंगा मैं?
एक एक
ऐसे
अरे
सर
घंटे
मस्त।
में एक ब्रेक चाहिए ना फॉर
ऐसा
एवरीवन।
कैसे हो गया?
क्या कैसा हो रहा है ये? व्हाई इज दिस नॉट ओपनिंग? क्रोम देखना, एक बार क्रोम
ट्राई
में देख
क्रोम
ले।
में
क्लियरिंग
ट्राई करो।
योर
क्रोम डाउनलोड करना पड़ेगा, क्रोम अभी मेरे पास
तो
नहीं
नहीं,
है।
इसमें
क्रोम नहीं है
इसमें
तेरे
आप
पास?
ट्राई
एनीवेज, लेकिन
क्लियरिंग योर
इसमें आपको
कैश।
क्लियरिंग करना पड़ेगा। हाँ आई मीन
या
समटाइम इट हैपेंस।
चलो मैं एक बार
ब्राउज
रिस्टार्ट मार के देखता हूँ सिस्टम को।
देखो
नहीं, आप ब्राउजिंग हिस्ट्री
अरे
और कैश क्लियर करके देखो, कुकीज वगैरह।
हाँ
साइट
वो
आईटी
सब
टीम
क्लियर।
हमेशा रीस्टार्ट करने बोलती है, बट पीएम हमेशा क्लियर करने बोलता
डिलीट ब्राउजिंग डाटा।
है।
क्लियर ब्राउजिंग हिस्ट्री मैंने तो
या
ये सब वो क्लियर,
हाँ,
ये सब इसमें से, ये ब्राउजिंग हिस्ट्री क्लियर, क्लियर कैश
स्क्रॉल।
हो गया।
बस कैश ही क्लियर कर दो, इतना कुछ कहाँ हटाओगे?
हाँ वो सब
नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट।
सब किया, अरे क्या।
टू लॉन्ग टू रिस्पॉन्ड, ओके।
भाई बेटर है क्रोम डाउनलोड कर लो, ज्यादा अच्छा है।
चल रहा था इसमें 2 दिन पहले तक,
नहीं
कल
चलना
से
तो सब में चाहिए। यू आर यूजिंग एच ना, एच में तो
कल से
हमारा भी
ये
चल
चालू
रहा
हुआ
है।
है।
टॉक मार दिया
लेट
कुलदीप
मी
ने।
ट्राई।
ऑन योर थिंग ऑल्सो इट वाज वर्किंग।
हाँ सर इधर भी काम कर रहा था हाँ बिल्कुल इसी पे काम कर रहा था, मैं तो यही
फनी।
एज ही यूज कर रहा हूँ काफी टाइम से। मैं फिर सिस्टम को रिस्टार्ट मार के
नहीं एज में तो मेरा चल रहा है प्रॉपरली, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
हाँ बट एनीवे,
नहीं, रिस्टार्ट से अच्छा रिस्टोर करके देखो।
बट
रिस्टोर
इट्स
टू
ओके, आई
अर्लियर
फाइंड
पॉइंट। या
जाने दो, बिजनेस को बोलना पड़ेगा न्यू लैपटॉप चाहिए।
इनोसेंटली।
सॉरी।
चलो, एनीवे, सो
थैंक यू सो मच, बाय एवरीवन।
वेलकम, सो सी यू ऑन द नेक्स्ट सैटरडे।
श्योर श्योर।
थैंक यू।
बाय।